So just to kind of start, I'm going to call this the White Robe series. So this is basically a moment of truth. We're going to talk about all things real talk, and hopefully the things that I talk about you can relate to. And so for the sake of this video, um, I'm going to lay it all out for you guys. If I get emotional, can't help it. That's just who I am. And I hope you guys enjoyed this content. I'm going to try to develop more. This is my very first video, but let's get started. So I am 34 years old, truth moment. Um, and at a very young age, I was always very independent. I kind of knew what I wanted to do. I had so many dreams that I had to accomplish. Unfortunately, my path it didn't exactly go the way I wanted it to go. I just went on a journey of just finding myself. Even when I got into college, I've changed my degrees a couple times. I went from political science to theater to business. Did graduate with a business degree in marketing, but it just took me some time to really find myself. I'm a big fan of theater and acting, and I am a trained actress as well. So I am multifaceted in that way, and it is my first passion. I also realized over the time I'm really big on connecting with people. I began working in hotel sales in my early career, in hotels, period. I began working as a concierge. I was at the front desk. I was working in as an admin, as a coordinator, and eventually moved up to New York at the Sheraton. So shout out to the Sheraton. However, there was a company merge back in 2018, and my job was eliminated. And I was let go. So that was really the start of the downward spiral my life began to like take, and the struggles that I began to deal with. It was like a mental. It just weighed on me mentally. At that time, I was making great money. I was living on my own, had my car, was going out, and literally my promotion, let's just say it happened in January of that year. I was laid off in like April. So I really didn't get a chance to experience the fullness of the sort of lifestyle that I had started. And with that, I had bought a car. And so things were piling up, right? I was creating a lifestyle for myself that needs to be maintained. In 2018, when I was laid off, my sister and my mom were already here in Georgia. At the time, I could have stayed in Jersey and just did the New York thing and figured it out, but it just was so depressing. And I've never experienced being laid off before. So I literally was just like, you know what? I'm out of there. I literally was just like, Mom, I need to go home. So she, of course, welcomed me with open arms, but it was tough. You know, my mom went through some things financially in her life. The best she can offer me was her couch. And my sister was already staying, well, she had a 2-bedroom apartment, and my sister was already staying in the other room. So it was just like a lot. So I stayed on the couch. I stayed on that couch for about a year. And then we all moved into another place together. And this is now, we're talking the end of 2019. When I left New Jersey, I did end up finding another job, but I kind of like I was working in sales, and I did find a job immediately when I came out here, the same exact position because of my experience. And it was so easy to find that job in the hotel that I was working at. I'm not going to name all these names of the places that I worked at, but it was easy to kind of find that job. But I didn't like it. You know, when you get laid off, you sort of go through this whole like, you kind of start to rethink life, right? Like, what do I want? What's going to make me happy? So at that point, I decided to figure it out. I actually started waitressing again. I met so many wonderful people doing that. And a shout out to all those who are waitressing, getting their coins waitressing, because we don't get enough respect. Those people don't get enough respect. I think that is where I met some of my most like valuable friends, because it's the realness, it's the authentic people who are just hustling and just trying to make it. I met some really amazing people waitressing. And then the thing happened in 2020, and I'm not going to say the word because I don't want to get this flagged, But the thing happened in 2020. We all know the big thing that happened. The company that I was working for at the time, I was actually an event leader and I was waitressing. So I was doing both. That venue closed down, and here we are. We were back laid off again. And so more things coming at the time. I was like, oh my God, I'm getting ready to get a place. I'm like taking care of my bills. But then it happened again. I'm sure many people, you know, can attest to this, that during that time, I think everybody's mental was just bombarded. Like we were all just in our thoughts, in our heads, and just trying to just be. But it was definitely difficult. I lost a lot of people during that time, and a lot of people lost their family members, and a lot of it was not just due to health. It was due to mental things going on internally that they never addressed. I'm so thankful that everybody who did make it through, we are here. We can talk about it. Some people laugh about it. But that happened. And during 2020, like I said, I was trying to figure out what it is that I wanted to do. So someone suggested, based on my personality and how I love to connect with people and talk, real estate. I spent 6 months studying for real estate. Do you guys know? Ready? I took that test 3 times. The first 2 times I failed. That was probably one of the worst feelings ever. Because, in college and in high school, I'm a good test taker somewhat. But that test, if you don't prepare correctly, it's difficult. It's really difficult. I never forget. And I was in such a low moment during that time. I didn't have a lot. I was getting ready to lose my car, but thankfully I didn't. My bills were piling up. I was making very little money, staying on my mom's couch. I'm sorry, during that time when I was taking my real estate, we hadn't moved. So I was in my own room, but couldn't really date. I didn't feel comfortable dating, bringing someone over in my bedroom with my mom there. Like it was just too much. But I'll never forget, it was I think August of 2020. I said, I'm going to stay up 2 nights straight. Like this is 2 days before my actual retest, because you get 3 tries in Georgia. And on the third try, if you don't pass, you have to retake it again. So I stayed up. I went through, I actually bought 2 courses to help me study. You have one course and then you have your, some people find like extra tutors. I bought 2 courses and I had a tutor because I'm gonna know this from front to back. So I went in that room and I wasn't the most confident that day, but I went into that room, took that test, and I passed. When they told me I passed, do you know, I screamed so loud that everybody in the whole entire room, even the test takers, were just like, what happened? Because it was like life was changing for me in a way. It was like my moment. It was like things were looking up. It felt so good. It just felt like a relief. I have an opportunity to create a life for myself. I have an opportunity to create a better career, to invest. And so with real estate, things just started to kind of pop off, right? I was still living with my mom, doing the best I could. Our lease was up, and my sister, who was really successful in producing, she moved onto her own place out here. Me and my mom, we moved together because I still wasn't ready financially. At the time, I was 31 years old. I started promoting myself. I'm a realtor. This is what I do. So I started acquiring people who were inquiring about buying a house. So I gained 2 clients and I had 2 closings in 2021. That was amazing in the beginning of 2021. And I quit my job. I had a job and I quit it. And I actually had a 9 to 5. I picked up a 9 to 5 right after real estate was over. I picked up a 9 to 5 when everybody was receiving unemployment checks. I literally was just like, all right, it's time to get a job. But when I had my second closing, I quit my job because I'm like, oh, this is just going to pop off now. Wrong. Don't do that. Do not do that. If you're into real estate, you want to become a realtor, make sure you have at least 6 months of savings before you just quit your jobs or more. So quickly realized that's not how it works. And so I found a nice little 9 to 5. I was working at a furniture store and sold a dream. The guy was just wanting to hire people just to get employees in the door. I guess he had a mark to meet. I don't know, but she's like, "You're gonna make 20,000 a month. You're gonna make 10,000 a month in commission." I'm like, "Oh my god." He's like, "We'll hire you today." I took the job. That's it, nothing. I didn't make even close to that. Probably not even like 0.3% close to that, right? Um, and I'm not being dramatic. Like literally was one of the worst paying jobs I've ever worked. Great people, great experience. Just the pay structure wasn't great. It took me back. In 2020, I was able to pay off my car, so I was happy about that. Thank you to the gods for that. However, when I started working in 2021 at that small job, try to find real estate customers. My car at the time was starting to pack on the miles, and that's important when you're a realtor. You want to make sure you have a car that's working and that works well because you're going to be driving a lot. It was, the miles were piling on, and I wanted to get a new car. Thought that was going to be the opportunity to do so, but it didn't work out that way. So I immediately, like after I would say 3 or 4 months, I was like, I gotta find something else because my bills are piling on and how can I gotta support myself. I did find another job and it was a work from home job. Cool, we're working from home. We could set our own schedule. I can work on other things while working from home. Another scam. Like this is all real legit. Another scam. They sold me on these scams. You have to be careful with these job descriptions when you apply. If there's a range and the range is completely off, it's probably 9 times out of 10 you won't even make closer to the higher number. So just be careful. If it's a sales-based job, don't bank on making money right away. So anyway, we did that. The money was horrible, but I just stayed in it. And during that time, I was just working and moving jobs just to financially support myself, leaving a job, starting a job, because I'm like, this is just not working and I gotta support myself. So something in me told me to wait. Stay with this job, as frustrating as it was. You'll figure it out, right? Financially, you will figure it out. If you got to move things around, extend payments, do all of those type of things, you'll figure it out. But just wait until you find what you want, apply yourself to it, and make sure it's a job that you really want and it's going to pay you what you are supposed to be making. So I waited. I didn't just find a job because the money looked good. I wanted something that really resonated with me, that made me feel good, and something that I have experience in that I can really add to it. I would say during the holidays of 2022, I found that job. I was doing a lot of manifestation work. I don't know if you guys know scripting. I was lighting my white candles. I was praying at night. I was meditating. I had my crystals charging every day. I was lighting my incense. I was just speaking things into existence. Every day I dedicated like at least an hour to that. I really internalized feeling, in my own space, feeling in this new job, feeling good about myself, feeling, happy, smiling, in love, all of those things. I did end up meeting the love of my life at Ashley. That was something I manifested. So we'll talk about that in another video. I was in my mom's apartment. I call it her apartment, even though I was paying rent there too, but it felt like it was hers. It didn't feel like mine. So I was in that room envisioning me in my place, envisioning me what I wanted in my space. I was envisioning me with a job. I can literally show you guys. I wrote down everything that I wanted immediately, and it happened the next year. You look back and you say, wow, like I was really connecting with some sort of spiritual deity, whether it's God or Buddha, whoever you pray to, something was speaking to me and I was connecting with that entity and I was manifesting greatly. And I realized there's something in me that's able to just truly believe something if I wanted. Here I am. I am in my apartment in 2023. Everything happened like this. Literally, it was like job, apartment, clients, new clients jumping in the door. And I just want to tell you guys, like, it's possible. If you are in a space right now, some of you are out there and you're in a space where you just don't feel like it's going to get better. But you've got to continue to believe that it's already there, that it's already happened. You have to internalize it. You have to trust yourself and that you are being placed strategically on the path that you're supposed to be on. As long as you are living positively, as long as you are doing right by others, your time is coming. I promise you, and I attest to that. I was just where you were. I was low. I was in my 30s, no kids, not married, hoping for love, hoping for a family to build that unit, hoping for a better job, a career, my own place. It's going to happen. Don't count yourself out, but you got to trust. So make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. I appreciate you. Sorry guys, my video got shut off a little bit short, but again, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you for watching.